Welcome to the Pretty and Profiting Show, your favorite show for branding, beauty, business, and the truth of how to be a boss lady and build your empire. Pause the show right now and grab your seat at prettyprofitsgift.com and enroll into the free 21-day e-course to build a brand that people crush on, gossip about, and buy from. And now, your host. She is the fierce money-making brand strategist and creative freaking genius, Nicole K. Lundy.
Hey, Pretty and Profiting Posse. So today, first of all, this is your host, Nicole K. Lundy, your host of this fabulous show. So today, we are talking about how gambling helps you build a better brand. Now, I know the title of this show got your attention, and it was inspired by my aunt and uncle visiting over the holidays. And my aunt is the sister of my mom, and my mom's side is a family that likes to gamble. And I'm not as strategic as them, but I respect it. And I was like, let me just observe from a distance on how I can tie this to branding, my favorite topic. So my aunt hit up a few casinos when she was here, and she won a few $1,000s with, I think, a mere $300 to $400 investment. And I was like, Auntie, I won't say her name. What's your strategy? Because her favorite thing at the casino is playing slots. But I do see the parallels in playing poker that my fiance is teaching my mom and I how to play. So she was just like, I look for the machines that had the highest payout in the last 24 hours. And I thought this was interesting because when I go to the casino, I look for the machines who actually has not had, a jackpot winner for the day. Because my thinking until a few weeks ago was that if these machines already, hit the jackpot, they're not hitting it again because casinos will always have the upper hand. And she was just like, nope, they keep hitting usually, and that's why I win. So I'm actually excited for the next time I go to the casino because now I have a new strategy. So I want to talk about poker because I am a complete non-pro at this. I'm still in learning phase, but I've been watching poker with my fiance, Andre, because I respect the game. It's so interesting to me that people can be that focused for hours with millions of dollars on the line. So how can gambling help you build a better brand? And number one is being strategic. That's my favorite word. But in terms of gambling, it's all about logic. It's all about evaluating, looking at the risk, assessing what the other players' strategies are, the non-obvious strategies. I mean, poker players are way beyond a twitch or you having a high-pitched voice as a sign that you have something up your sleeve. They go a few levels deeper to figure out your strategy. So they assess the risk. They assess the uncertainty. They don't fold or jump out the game from losing the first few hands because they realize that they're in a testing period. Now, I always have people who are impatient, myself included. And I think it's a trait of most entrepreneurs to be impatient. Because we want things to happen right now. We're not really professionals, at least in the beginning of the gestation period for projects that every project needs. And I'm a fan of also having 90 days to really test a strategy in your business. So in terms of gambling, you have to have a gestation period for testing. And when we're talking about playing the slots, when we're talking about poker, when we're even talking about Russian roulette, you can't just lose the first hand and walk away. You can't, if somebody has like stacks of chips over there on a table, see what is he betting on? Analyze that. Especially in Russian roulette, you could bet the same thing as somebody. So number 2 is that you have to not panic. You have to stay focused. You have to keep your emotions in check so that you make sound decisions. I don't know if this has happened to you. I don't know if you're a gambler, but I do want to know. But I've actually been like stalking, like looking over somebody's shoulder if I'm next to them and they're just winning every hand that they're pulling in the slot. And I'm like, oh, I want to get on that machine. And as soon as I get on that machine, of course, the machine is not even entertaining my idea of winning or letting me win anything. It's just taking all of my money. But I don't have a level head. Now I will, but I don't have a level head when I'm in this position. So you have to look at serious gamblers, especially poker players, and look at how level-headed they are. They don't flinch. They're steady in their decisions. And actually, watching Celebrity Apprentice, I'm a huge fan of the show. I've been watching it since high school. But Donald Trump is the same way. He's so decisive, so level-headed, and he's 100% behind the decisions he makes. It's the same approach you need to gambling. It's probably why Trump has casinos all over. And it's just so important to detach your ego and to really be in the game and to really, really stand behind your decisions. So how else can gambling help you build a better brand? I'll tell you more, but we're going to take a quick break. Let's imagine that you have a brand that's influential, buzzworthy, and profitable. It's time to make this happen. If you are looking to master your brand messaging so that it's captivating and fascinating and attracts your target audience, develop your signature program that you can start enrolling clients in right away, get clarity in your market positioning for long-term profitability and growth, create your marketing plan and sales promotion strategy, and lastly, design a customized action plan to make implementation simple, I created the Monetize My Brand program to do exactly that for your business. The reason I work with high-performing entrepreneurs on building their bankable brands is because the world does not need more cookie-cutter brands. Go to prettyprofits2015.com and book your Monetize My Brand intensive. Playtime, it's over. And we're back. So today we're talking about how gambling helps you build a better brand. Next, we're going to talk about managing your money. It's so important in gambling. I know people who lose their house, they lose their shirt, they lose their socks, and they lose their shoes in gambling because they have no money management strategy or approach when they walk through those doors. So I don't care what game you're playing. I don't care what game you're attracted to. How can we tie this to gambling and building your brand? And one is managing your money. Now, a poker player doesn't get, thrown off course if, somebody has more chips than them. It's obvious. How much money you have is all on the same table. It's not as obvious if you're playing a game like slots, Russian roulette. You could see how many chips everybody has. They don't get thrown off by who has the most chips and who has the least chips and how those people are betting accordingly. They're very focused on managing their own money. Me, for one, because I play the slots, is when I hit a jackpot, I cash out and I don't reinvest those tickets, money tickets. I don't even know what to call them. Let's call them casino checks. So I don't reinvest my casino checks. I count that as my winnings. I am very clear when I go into the casino how much money I am investing and how I will manage my winnings. Because every time I did not do this, I spent everything. I don't know how much I invested. I don't know how much I won, because any little thing, whether I won 5 cents, I was playing again. And it's just a haphazard way to have fun. Like, who wants to be a loser? Who wants to walk out of the casino a complete loser? So taking that same mentality into building your brand is that you have to be a laser focused, no nonsense money manager. If you only made $50 for the month, should you spend $40 on graphic design? Probably not. Probably not. Maybe that's a Facebook ad. Maybe it's something else that's directly tied. Maybe that gets you 1 or 2 steps away from getting your next client, getting cash in the door. Same concept, gambling, building your brand. Lastly, I want to talk about taking opportunities and maximizing them. So when you're in the casino and you're calculating your odds of, folding or playing the maximum bet, or looking at your short-term plan versus your long-term plan, when you're assessing the opportunities that you have and which one you should take, it has a big effect. Some people have $100,000 on the line. Some people have their entire rent check on the line. Now, I'm not advocating that. It's true stories of what people do. But you have to make the best opportunities for you. Now, in terms of building your brand, when those opportunities come, they have to suit you growing your brand. Your number one job as the CEO and the chief branding officer of your business is to make sure that you are always being seen, being heard, being paid. If that opportunity doesn't make any of those 3 happen, preferably all 3, getting that opportunity into your funnel, then maybe it shouldn't happen, but you have the final say on it. So gambling, it helps you build a better brand. And I'm sure if you are a gambler, I'm not a big gambler. I go to the casino like 2 or 3 times a year. I am actually excited. I want to see the direct parallels, because this just, pure inspiration from my aunt and uncle, this episode, but I want to actually experience it from my firsthand, because objectively, I already see how it correlates, and I want to deepen this thought, this study. So we may have a part 2 on this, but that's it for now. This is your host, Nicole K. Lundy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on Facebook. See you next time. Bye. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Pretty and Profiting Show. Now, I want you to join the Pretty and Profiting Posse over on Facebook. It's simple to join. Just go to Facebook, type in Pretty and Profiting in the search box, and click join. Hurry, we're waiting on you. Until next time, stay pretty and stack those profits.